Welcome to Focus Me, the ultimate audio blueprint for high-performance minds. Have you ever been in a moment that should feel perfect, and yet your mind pulls you somewhere else? Maybe you're watching a beautiful sunset, but you're replaying a message from work. Or you're lying in bed at night, and out of nowhere your brain drags up something embarrassing you said years ago. It's like your mind is this loud roommate who never stops talking, and you don't know how to get a little quiet. Today, we're unpacking the core ideas from Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. It's a modern classic in spirituality and mindfulness, and at the center of it is one simple claim that can completely change how you experience your life. Most of our suffering comes from not being where we are.
We live in our heads, stuck in the past or chasing the future, and we miss the only place life can actually be lived, this moment. So let's walk through the big lessons, step by step, in a way you can actually use on a normal day, with real stress, real responsibilities, and a real mind that loves to overthink.
First idea: you are not your mind. Sounds obvious, but if you watch yourself for a day, you'll realize how often you treat your thoughts like they're you. Thoughts show up and start narrating everything, judging, comparing, predicting, complaining. And because that inner voice is always there, we start to assume it's our identity.
Here's a helpful way to see it. Imagine there's a radio in your house that never shuts off. It plays worry, criticism, and random bad news on repeat. If you listen long enough, you might start to believe the radio is who you are. But you're not the radio. You're the one hearing it. Tolle's suggestion is simple. Notice the thinker. The next time you feel irritated or anxious, listen closely to what your mind is saying. Maybe it's telling a story like, "They shouldn't treat me like this," or "What if I fail?" The key insight is this. If you can observe that voice, then you can't be the voice. You're the awareness behind it.
And that small shift creates space. The thought still appears, but it doesn't completely possess you. You stop being dragged around by every mental headline. You start to realize there's a quiet presence underneath the noise, and that presence is far steadier than your moods.
Second idea. Fear is mostly a future problem. Think about your worries. A lot of them are about things that have not happened. Losing a job, being rejected, getting sick, making a mistake, looking stupid. The mind is constantly running simulations trying to protect you. But it often overdoes it, and you end up living in a stress response for events that may never arrive. Tolle connects a lot of this to what he calls the ego. Not ego like confidence, but ego as the part of us that feels incomplete and threatened. The ego needs a story. Who I am, what happened to me, what I must achieve, what others think of me. It clings to the past to build identity, and it clings to the future to search for salvation. But here's the twist. The ego struggles in the present moment, because the present is simpler than the story. In the now, there's less to defend. There's just what's happening.
If you've ever been in a true emergency, you've seen this. Something suddenly demands your full attention, and for a moment you're not worrying about your reputation or your to-do list. You're just completely here. The future-based fear disappears because reality takes over. A lot of us, though, spend our days reacting to imaginary emergencies. We brace for impact that never comes. We run from psychological threats that exist mostly as thoughts. And while that's happening, life is passing right in front of us. Third idea. There's a difference between using time and being trapped by time. Of course we need schedules, deadlines, calendars. That's practical. Tolle would call that clock time, and it's useful.
The issue is psychological time. The mental habit of treating the present as an obstacle on the way to a better future. You know the pattern. I'll finally relax when this project ends. I'll be happy when I reach that goal. My real life starts after I fix this problem.
But notice what that does. It turns your entire day into a waiting room. You're physically here, but mentally you're somewhere else, constantly leaning forward. And even if you reach the goal, the mind usually picks a new one and starts the same cycle again. Tolle's point is blunt but freeing. If you can't access peace now, you won't magically access it later. Later will still feel like now when it arrives. Life doesn't happen in someday. It happens in a chain of present moments, one after another. The past was once a present moment. The future, if it comes, will arrive as a present moment too.
Fourth idea. How do you actually stay present when your mind won't stop? This is where Tolle gets very practical with a tool he calls the inner body. Instead of fighting thoughts with more thoughts, you shift attention into direct sensation.
Try it in a small moment, like waiting in line or sitting on a train. Instead of reaching for your phone or feeding the mental commentary, bring awareness to your hands. Feel warmth, tingling, heaviness, lightness, any sensation at all. Notice your feet inside your shoes. Notice your breathing without forcing it.
What's happening here is important. When attention moves into the body, thinking naturally slows down. Not because you're trying to silence it, but because you're anchored in something real and immediate. You've probably seen a version of this in sports or performance. When someone is in the zone, they're not overthinking every movement. They're fully engaged. Their mind is clear because the present moment requires their full participation.
And you can practice that in ordinary life too. Washing dishes doesn't have to be a race to finish. Walking to your car doesn't have to be mental planning time. You can actually feel the water, hear the sounds, notice the air, and be where you are. Over time, presence becomes less like a rare spiritual experience and more like a skill you're building.
Fifth idea, surrender. And no, surrender doesn't mean giving up on life. It doesn't mean becoming passive or letting people walk all over you. Tolle uses surrender to mean something more specific. Stop arguing with reality in your head.
Think of it like getting stuck in mud. If you waste energy yelling, blaming, and refusing to accept that you're stuck, you don't get unstuck. But if you clearly acknowledge, okay, this is where I am right now, something changes. Your mind stops fighting the fact of the situation, and you can actually look for a way forward. So many of our daily frustrations come from resisting what already is. Traffic, delays, weather, a difficult conversation, a mistake that already happened. And resistance doesn't change the situation. It just adds another layer of suffering on top of it. Surrender is the moment you drop the inner battle. You accept the present as it is, and from that calmer place, you're more likely to respond intelligently. Not from panic, not from bitterness, from clarity. So let's pull it all together into a simple recap you can remember. 1. You are not the voice in your head. You're the awareness that can notice it. 2. Most fear lives in imagined futures, while your life is only ever happening right now.
3. Use time, but don't mentally live in time. Don't treat the present like a stepping stone.
4. Practice presence by moving attention into the inner body and into real sensations.
5. Surrender means accepting what's here first, so you can act from peace instead of resistance.
If there's one takeaway I'd love you to keep, it's this. You don't have to wait for your life to begin. You don't have to solve every problem before you can feel okay. Peace isn't a trophy you win in the future. It's something you touch in tiny moments when you come back to the present. Right here, right now, you can take one conscious breath, you can feel your hands, you can notice the space around a thought instead of immediately believing it. And that small shift, repeated often enough, can change the whole texture of your days. If this episode gave you even a little quiet in your mind, carry it with you into the next moment. That's where your life actually is. Thanks for listening. Focus Me. Follow us now.